I'll admit Canada is not a bed of roses, but for me, it's like a king size bed and I'm loving it. Hey guys, it's your girl Shelone. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I wanted to do a comparison or just a video about why I decided to migrate to Calgary, Alberta instead of your typical GTA in the province of Ontario. There are a lot of reasons and I'm going to break them down for you. But before I do so, hit the subscribe button down below and hit the thumbs up if you enjoyed this video and if you want to see more of these videos. So I decided to migrate to Calgary, Alberta for numerous reasons. One of the first reasons that I decided to migrate to the city of Calgary in the province of Alberta is the weather. I've spent my first winter here and I've heard this is like one of the worst winters, and I'm like, if this is one of the worst winters, then I really don't have anything to worry about. Not over exaggerating or, but honestly, what people seem to like, I think people don't really do their research into the weather. They just take a lot of hearsay and they hear that the place is like terrible and blah blah blah. And I heard that the temperatures are like -30s and it's really extremely cold, and you'd think that it's like -30 for the entire winter, and that is so far from the case. But I decided to move here for the weather because Toronto and the GTA, I'm just going to use Toronto as a blanket statement, but in Toronto and that area, it's usually pretty gloomy all the time. It's always cloudy, it's always raining, there's a bunch of precipitation, and I do not like precipitation. I mean, sometimes I miss the rain, but I don't like when it's like raining all the time. And can you imagine, like, I couldn't imagine like mixing the level of rain from Jamaica with cold. You understand? So that makes the place, to me, that makes the place way more colder when it's wet and moist all the time. But in Calgary, the air it's way drier than Toronto. I know Toronto is dry, but Calgary is way drier, and because of that it doesn't feel as cold as Toronto. It doesn't rain a lot, the place isn't cloudy here, and from what I heard, that it's the gloominess on the days that you can't necessarily like go outside is what really like causes depression. So the cloudiness and all that is what usually causes depression in the winter, because when the trees fall off and everything is dead everywhere, when it's cloudy, it just adds to the depression that you suffer from. So I found out that Calgary sees almost 300 odd days out of the year it's sunny. Like majority of the time it's sunny. So I'm like, but I like sun. And I think I could cope better in the cold if it's cold outside but it's still sunny. And that's the reason why I moved to Calgary. And as for the -30 degrees, 1 week. 1 week of sub-zero. Usually they said it's like for a couple days, but they said that for this year it was for one whole week. So if I think I did. I would take 1 week of sub -30 degrees weather with bright sunny skies for majority of the year and majority of winter than it's snowing every day and raining every day. And it doesn't snow a lot here either. It's just that when it snows it doesn't go anywhere because it's cold, but it doesn't snow a lot. Like, I'm not even gonna like cap, I'm gonna just put here I'm gonna show the comparison of precipitation and snowfall for Calgary versus Toronto versus other places in Canada. It doesn't see a lot of snow, and that's something that a lot of people don't know, but you know now. All right, so the second reason I moved here was because of health. In the province of Ontario, as a newly landed permanent resident, you have to wait 90 days before you're covered under the province's health insurance plan. That wasn't going to cut it for me being pregnant. And for Alberta, as soon as you land, you can apply for their health insurance. once you can prove that you intend to stay in the province for 12 months or more, then you qualify for their health insurance. And I was able to do that with, I think I was able to use a letter from the bank, like a permanent address or some sort. I don't remember, but something of the sort. And I was able to get my health insurance within a week of landing. And as a pregnant lady, that's very important to me. So I was able to go to all of my appointments free of cost, do all my lab tests, blood tests, everything, give birth, and I didn't have to wait 90 days before I could get my health insurance. So that's the second reason. The third reason is, surprise, surprise to most people as well, the salaries. They pay way better despite the fact that the province is currently, the economy is in a decline because of oil, because the province economy is heavily reliant on oil. But however, I don't work in oil, and I don't work in an industry that is affected by oil. So I work in IT, and I was able to get a job, and the salaries here pay at least, I would say, about, in my field, the average salary is about 50% more than Toronto. And I'm not joking. I'm not joking, because I've looked at the salary comparison and it's like a 50% more. And a lot of people don't know this. Well, for my field, it pays more here. And I think overall they pay more in this province. And a lot of people don't realize that either. But the thing is, with Ontario and Toronto area, there's my son. I love him, Missy. So, hey, baby. Hi, Papa.
Can't be doing all this background singing.
Hey, baby.
She's busy right now. Maybe not.
So, in the province of Toronto.
Not talk. Please go to sleep. Sleep time. Sleep time.
Hello, baby. Oh gosh. All right. So, what was I saying again? Oh my God, I completely lost my train of thought. So in Toronto, you guys have to understand that there's a lot more people over there. So there's a lot more competition for jobs. So employers can lowball the crap out of the industries there. So like a job that may pay $20 or $14 in Ontario may pay $22 per hour, just as a, to give you a comparison. So I came to Calgary because the jobs that I was looking at in comparison paid 50% more, well, for my field anyways, than it did in Toronto. So for me, that was a no-brainer. And then on top of that, the fourth reason why I decided to come here was the cost of living. So you're getting paid more than you are in Ontario, and at the same time, the cost of living is lower. So you get what I'm saying? So it's like higher pay, lower cost of living, where in Ontario it's lower pay, higher cost of living. So that little money that you get off the top is going to be significantly lower in Toronto. Right now, I'm able to live downtown, like walking distance to like downtown. Under no circumstances could I afford to live walking distance from the CN Tower, and I live walking distance from the Calgary Tower. So it's like, it was like a no-brainer for me, because at the end of the day, I'm not here to like, I have some friends there, love them, but I'm not coming here to follow behind friends or follow behind people who say, oh, go here because this person should, or go here because I know someone there. I don't care about you and your crew. I don't care about what is it that you have going for you. I am looking about what is best for me and my family. So we decided to come to Calgary, and we've been loving it so far. The benefits in Alberta is amazing. I don't know how they're able to give their residents so many benefits, but I'm gonna take it. I've been taking it and I've been running with it. So yeah. If you hear my cooing baby in the background, just ignore it, please. Thank you very much. People like to say, oh, you have to start from somewhere, and you have to, like, you know, if you have to start over, you have to start over. Me no want to start over, you know. So I didn't want to, like, leave my life in Jamaica where I was comfortably living in a nice 2-bedroom house with me and my husband to come here to live in a 1-bedroom, and then we were pregnant as well, and then having to, like, listen to the footsteps. We tried the basement living when we first came here. I must admit, we tried it because, you know, my husband saw this nice basement and he was like, let's get it. And I was like, baby, you sure? I was like, okay, fine, you know. We got the basement, never worked out. I was like, we should just stick to the guns. We like, this can't work out. And we just left. We moved out in, like, we moved in October 20 something, and we left January 21st, January 31st. So we didn't spend much time in there because it just wasn't working out. So yeah, don't let people telling about, don't let, if you don't have any ties to Toronto, do your research. If you don't have, like, say, family members where you can stay with to offset some of your living costs or whatever the case may be, even so, go there temporarily and weigh your options. Don't just come, don't approach immigration with this narrow-mindedness, like, oh, I'm gonna go to Toronto because that's where the most Jamaicans are. Are you migrating to, like, be around more Jamaicans, or are you migrating to, like, have a better life for yourself and your family, you know? So those are some things that you need to take into consideration. Looking down at my notes. So, ooh, I'm thirsty. I've been talking. Ah. So that's why I decided to move to Calgary, Alberta instead of Toronto, Ontario. If you're planning to migrate, I really hope that this video was helpful and this gives you some more insight as to, like, where you can migrate to. There are a lot of cities on the West Coast, Edmonton, Fort McMurray. Well, I wouldn't go to Fort McMurray. Oh, but there's a lot of other provinces and cities that you can migrate to with your family and live a way better quality of life than in Ontario. So yeah, that's my 2 cents on why I decided to move to Calgary, Alberta versus Toronto, Ontario. If you enjoyed this video, once again, please hit the thumbs up button. If you made it this far, I want you to comment, Calgary is cold. I want you to comment Calgary is cold in the description box, alright? And I will shout you out in my next video. So thanks again, and I will see you in my next one. Mwah.